Dog, how long we counted now? I started to lose track.
38.
Nah, it's 37.
It's 38. Last week was 37.
Twilight. So,
Wait. Hey,
you shit.
you're not skipping me. All right. The only podcast that where shadows have a backstage pass, I don't know, it's ChatGPT. He ho to the eat.
I have a question, Doc, dog.
Yes.
The profound, what is that way you come up with a quote?
No, this is like something I just do at the start of the thing. I couldn't come up with 50. So I come up with like 8. And then I was like, well, ChatGPT, you do the rest.
It's amazing. No, you just do it right through now.
Yes.
Yeah. I like it.
Welcome,
Welcome, everybody.
imagine if everything was...
Whoa, we get attacked by some kind of biochemical weapon.
See? Magnetic personalities. That's what we're talking about. Yes. So this is Two Man, a.k.a. Grease Gordon.
Grease God.
Yeah.
You call your next name?
Yeah.
Call it don't frighten. No.
What was your next name?
Oh gosh, you want me to say it?
And Mr. Bazzi, your girlfriend's favorite podcaster.
Oh gosh. I like how you glaze over that one. Eh?
Yeah.
I will tell the people the name
What's
is.
your next name?
We take a poll. They want to know what his next name is?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Sure.
So last week we was having a conversation and we came up on the verbiage of the pom pom prophet. All right. So
anything about it, is there? You give me the eye, and
I'm really interested to hear what you have
you're
to say.
starting to give me the eye, and the thing about it is, I don't think I'm on the fitness level to do this like a whole night. I don't see it. A whole night?
Why would you say that?
A whole night, probably like an hour. But I had to give me like a 3 months, whole night. Long distance, you're getting it, baby. But prior.
keep the faith, brother. I hear with you.
Yeah. I'll live it, but nah.
You might have a fight on your hands.
Yeah.
Speaking of fight on your hands, we want to introduce our lady to the panel. All right, you go ahead, introduce yourself, how you feel like.
Tessa Clifford.
Gregory Garcia, G Squared Fitness. Some people say G2 Fitness. Same thing.
Oh, because Gregory. Yeah.
Correct.
Gucci, aka the Gucci trainer.
This episode is a kind of, well, we come from two different worlds. There's the opposing sides of the table, right? You can call it a fitness battleship.
Oh.
Right, so we basically looking at the two of you, proper shape. You know, we're not going into the age thing, however the situation is, or whatever, you know, to respect for our guests.
Right.
But I have been looking around at Trinidadians for a while, and I'm no skill, I can't tell, right? But I have been seeing more and more, what's the word?
Fat girls.
Obese.
Fat girls. We like fat girls.
Not to mention that they're
Out of
exposed.
shape.
Not to
Yeah.
mention that they expose a lot of themselves, but
Yeah.
and it's not just the girls too.
And the fella,
Yeah.
I think fellas have been allowed to be out of shape for longer. You understand what I'm saying?
Why is it?
Explain.
Okay, like how Roman Empire season all them fat, they eating grapes and things, but the girls now had to have a level of, they had to have the certain body structure. They had to be on certain ideals when the men could be allowed to do less in terms of physically. If you're not fighting, I mean.
Well, it depends on what ideals you're looking at. If you're looking at European ideals, you know, you have to be straight up and down, small hips, small waist, etc. If you're looking at African ideals, however, you know, the more plump you are, you look as though, you know, you could bear children, your hips wider, you know. So it depends on what standard you're talking about.
Okay. Sarah Bart. Yeah.
Yeah, because then again, a lot of the people that we've seen is more the African denomination, ethnic group background. So it has been like, if that statement so true, you know, where African women tend to be a little bit bigger boned, you know, is it a health?
She representing the whole. She representing the whole tribe.
I have it on my back.
All right. So ladies, they have a represent. Hey, you know how long we didn't have a lady representative on each. We have a lot of
Really?
questions. No, we have a lot of questions to ask the ladies. Eh?
Okay.
We are
A couple
game.
shows
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but
Last week.
Okay.
But
Last week it
again,
was just you and me, and the week before
was
was
a
like
girl, but
yeah.
again a different vibe now.
Oh, okay. It's not small. She have brains.
Yeah.
She have thick thighs. She have thick thighs and thin patience.
Good one, dog. I like that. Yeah. So as I was going to say,
Nah, quick.
yeah. So yeah, back to what I was saying. A lot of the African women in our country, Trinidadians, they tend to be a little bit bigger boned. Is it that we could African women could bear that weight? Is it that they could bear walking around with that that size. Because you said they tend to be a little bit more aligned with childbirth.
Well, yeah, the culture in Africa, you know, they equate your size, the size of your hips, etc., to be more inclined to bear more children.
Okay.
In terms of whether or not the African woman or the African descendant woman is more able to carry the weight, I really don't think it matters the race. The fact that, you know, you're seeing a lot more of them bigger is just because they're making, you know, not the best decisions when it comes to the choices when it
Diet
comes to
and
diet
fitness.
and fitness. Yeah, it just really comes down to that.
Carnival now done, right?
Right.
Just finished. And I'm not sure if you all participated in it.
Yeah, we did.
She participated.
She did like
She participated.
Ayuma.
No,
Okay.
She wanna say what man?
Bliss.
Yeah, she up there. She up there. She up
Right.
there.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Wait, no, see the question. That's the only first question I was about to ask you. You pay for that costume? Or which man pay for that costume? Which man?
If what?
Which
If
man?
a man paid up for a costume for me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
She won money.
It's my relative family.
I know. I realized he just in his head.
No, you know,
just-
girls just have like the list of checklists.
You have your list too,
My
and you're just
checklist.
checking off. Okay.
How much money I spend behind this girl? Not a lot good. How much things? Not a lot good. Living on your own good. Get ready
Yeah.
to.
So the season just finished, right?
Right. Get back to the question. Let's remain
Keep it on
focused.
track.
Right. So you all attended these celebrations. We been to a couple of celebrations ourselves, you know. Fetes. Well, the carnival Monday and Tuesday was a different story. But throughout the season, and I think last year and the years before, we started to see a little bit more exposure on the skin. You know.
And it becoming more, what was the word? Was the politically correct word?
Body
But-
positivity.
Thank you. And
right.
as opposed to before now, where it was like, nah, girl, you can't wear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, as fitness trainers, people who
Well, she is not. She is the
Yeah,
before.
I-
She's the before and after of his work. So
his
you get to see
yeah. So
the
fitness student and
Teacher.
student.
Yeah, yeah, to student teacher. So I do it again. So people come to you, right? Carnival come in. I want to lose weight. I want to drop weight. Whatever the case is. What's your first response to them? What would you say to somebody who are visibly out of shape? Like
Yeah, check somebody
a
else.
couple of years.
Say it in the camera.
Yeah, let's check somebody else.
So you tell them away one time.
Yeah, I'm not a short term. I'm a lifestyle coach. More of a trainer promoting the proper way of doing it. 365, 366 a year. So what you expecting is miracles.
I tell you, 1 hour. Yeah, no more. Trust me, I'm not ready. No more work my way up to that.
Yeah. Again, we don't have that that level of fitness. But
Yeah.
we got to go same way, right? At the same time though, I wanted to find out because somebody was talking to me about this yesterday. Just yesterday. She's like literally walk a flight a step and be like,
Right.
and I was like, well, why are you sounding so out of breath? You're running from somebody else. And she's like, no, I just walk up the stairs. And I was like we live so much of our lives not increasing our heart rate, doing any kind of physical activity that require you to, you know, at least be some baseline and healthy. And with this body acceptance situation that we
Body
talk-
positivity.
body positivity
Positivity.
situation that taking place now, do you find it more difficult to get a message that you send, try to evangelize across?
Well, that's one of the obstacles that you have with it. There are a lot of others. Even in the fraternity, there are people who, for instance, just they work out, they get muscles, they become a personal trainer in the morning. They don't want to do certifications. They don't understand the whole ecosystem of it. So that's another problem that we have. But yes, the body positivity doesn't help for people to understand that one, the human body was made to be in motion. And two, you had to take care of yourself. The reason why the body's way of storing energy is fat. That's what it is. Fat is energy. And your body, if your body was unable to store fat, you'd probably die. So in the case where something happened, let's say you end up in the desert and you didn't have food or water for days, your body starts using your fat storages to keep you alive. There's so much health risks when it comes to obesity, because that's what they're linking it to, saying that if you're obese and you have the confidence, you shouldn't shame that person. And if they're proud of it, you should leave them like that. But being in, because when you look at a personal trainer, a doctor, all of these things, they all work in tandem. A personal trainer is stopping you from going to a doctor.
A dietitian too.
Dietitian as well. We
nutrition.
are the preventative measures. The doctors,
It's about drag race.
right? So when you see somebody, as you say, body positive, and then you can't make it up a flight of stairs, I mean, what are you really doing? You're trying to live long, or you're trying to live short with your positivity?
Because on the flip side, it have these skinny people who unfit as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right.
Where that would make the same flight as stairs. That was me.
And still be out of
That was
breath.
me a couple of months ago. I was like, yeah, I'm going through it. And then so that's when you started taking me down a little course. Like, hey, do this every day.
Yeah. Because it all starts with genetics, you know.
Oh, God.
How you store fat is based on your genetics. How your family, you inherit that. So I might have fat storages in my arm. You might have fat storages underneath by your hips.
This in my head.
But it's different to everybody. However, again, the human body was made to be in motion.
Why she do that for? I saw you did it. I saw you
What?
did it.
What
said,
did I do?
No, so you talking about where fat story and you say your head and she just give me a whole scan. I was like, in fat.
I don't know why you saw it. Probably under the
All right. Did she not? She did it. I saw it. The same.
So, yeah, I mean, I all for women wanting to be positive about the image and how they look and self-confidence. But I'm not even sure, because I'm not a psychologist, on that level, if it really is.
Yeah, if you don't want to end up like him running.
But
Yeah.
no, because on the next side, no, fellas just like this now, and like they unfit in an. I'm not sure if it's unfit, but you know when you're too fat, so you're straining your hand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a secret, but a lot of people, a lot of guys tend to lean towards the performance enhancement drugs.
PRTs.
Yeah.
Anabolic.
Anabolic steroids.
And that happening,
exercise,
that's down here?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean down
for
here?
For what reason though? Like,
Well, I would like to know, because I know generally the people I knew that would take it was for bodybuilding.
Competitions.
For competition.
Okay.
And I mean, even that, I wouldn't even justify it, because in my mind, everything to me, if you're giving effort, was a return of investment on it. So if you spend, and steroids apparently is a shitload of money on it, and then you had to support a diet and etc., and you had to have a special coach, so you're spending a whole set of money. And I don't know if you're aware of the prizes they give for these competitions locally.
A bottle of protein
Yeah, and a shake hand and a medal
and a
some
chicken and
that.
a medal
So,
and a
as I'm
trophy.
God, but
so from that perspective,
stop
it's like,
it. Stop it.
right? No, some guys I know that they'll do it for carnival or for whatever reason, but the risk to reward ratio, it outweighs it, because
Yeah.
you're basically messing with your body's, if you want, homeostasis or equilibrium, because you're going to throw off everything. Because, all right, when you take steroids, what you're doing is, steroids is like a synthetic version of testosterone.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. But
Right.
Understand
Your
that.
body stops producing when you start taking that.
I have a question. Right? Because this is the same mistake and the same
You
performance
want you
enhancement.
taking what I taking?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think you're
ask the
taking
question.
dog, right?
You ponder.
So them fellas and them who's be literally taking the performance enhancement pills, right?
No, yeah, you talking about sexual pills.
Bedroom activity.
Oh,
You talking about sex pills.
Like, because it blew my mind out. I actually heard somebody say these people in the 30s, 20s,
right.
40s
Yeah.
using that enhancement.
And on the flip side, them tend to be the same men who gymming very hard.
Very strong man
Right.
thing.
You mentioned TRT, and TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. You ought to actually go test your test levels to see if you are below where you should be.
They have that on it?
Apparently it's a lot of money.
I don't. But what a lot of people doing is saying that they have low test and start doing TRT, and they're using it as a form of steroids.
So how would you
Or
gauge?
enhancement.
How would you gauge? Thank you. Sorry.
That's
How
true.
would you gauge as a? I mean, it must have a method to the madness. Some scientific, bush science way of saying, my testosterone just might be too.
So yeah, and why you like specifically you say nah? You know what? I just want 365 this
Yeah.
as opposed to just taking
Do the easy route.
The status be a buff man,
Yeah.
as a red man, etc.
Well, I mean, your body naturally declining over the years, right? Yeah. From the time you're born, you're really just on your way to dying, if you look at it that way. And the things that are going to deplete and not going to work like the day before. So as you get older, your testosterone is supposed to decrease. However, the only way you'll know that is if you go to a doctor and actually test your levels.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the safest way you could go about doing it. But a lot of people
But
self-prescribe
that
it.
money, they go towards the steroids.
and the penis pills. Penis pills way cheaper apparently than everything else.
Yeah, like-
Yeah. But
More people using it than I didn't know it.
no, and it's young fellas, young mids.
But I think the point you were getting to is telling Turdy why you're taking the penis pill.
Yeah.
It's because the steroid use over time
well,
is gonna
you're
cause
saying
the
that this is a
malfunction
result of somebody taking anabolic steroids and end up or they just
These fellas,
decide to jump up
these
and
fellas
take it.
just taking pills
They
just
just
to take pills.
Well, it's
They
just
just
like
buy
everything
C.
else.
They always have
They
vice.
just buy
It's just like
C.
every other
They
thing.
just buy C.
No, but that is just
You
like
know that
everything
link to something
is
else.
straight in
Alright.
more on your heart. That's correct, right?
So that's it. Every time you put something foreign into your body, you are asking your body to metabolize that more. So if you have, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, you were supposed to have 10 milligrams of testosterone, just say, in your body, and you decide to take performance enhancement drugs, and you now have 20 milligrams in your body, then what you ask in your heart and your kidneys and your liver and everything to do is to process that,
And it's not designed to process
and
that.
it's not correct. So over a shorter, you have 24 hours to basically, because in your whole cycle of working out and going back and sleep and whatnot, your body has to always process what is in it
Right.
in order for you to keep functioning.
So then my thing is, okay, so like me, because I seen red skinny men doing this transformation, which they're like, yeah, I know what they're doing.
Right.
So it's at the deadlifts.
Right.
I was talking to like two like men who win the gym and that kind of stuff. So I have a cousin who's like, nah, he don't really care about actually being strong. He just there for the aesthetics, whatever. But he not on the stuff.
Right.
But they were saying like, if you're doing dead drops when you're the
Squat.
squat, dead squats, and then you stand up and it's like 500 or 600 pounds you doing this, and your knee is not designed to support. It's designed to support like your weight, probably a little bit extra if you have to carry load because you're always in motion. But you're not supposed to be lifting like African metric
Yeah.
ton
Yeah.
Right.
naturally.
That's and hence the reason why one of the reasons why I wouldn't take somebody for carnival, because I do more functional training.
Oh, so motion.
Motions of
Yeah.
what you're patterning, what you're actually doing in life. So I focus a lot on core and rotations. I mean, your body basically moves in 3 planes. So there's moving forward and back, which is sagittal, frontal, which is left and right, and then transverse, which is rotations. So that's how you should be building your body.
So are you flexible as well? As you saying?
Well, yeah, all of this, because the truth is in the ecosystem of working out, because people pay a lot of attention to building muscle, and then they take high protein diets because they want the protein muscle synthesis to help build the muscle. But there are a lot of other things to the ecosystem, and the actual exercising is the smallest percentage when it comes to that. The number one thing is rest. That's number one as a human being. There's recovery, there's flexibility, there's mobility, there's stability, then there's the working out, there's strength and muscle building, and the diet is way before that. So there's like rest, nutrition, recovery, but the actual exercising is the last. So just like everything else in your life, like what is your goal? If your goal is to become a powerlifter, then by all means try to squat 10 plates, because that's what it requires of a powerlifter to do.
For your knees.
Right, but
long term.
your knees not supposed to hurt you when you're squatting.
No, but what I'm talking about is because
But
of the
it's
weight,
stress that you're putting on.
because of
On
the
your
weight,
body.
like it's straight. So if you straighten it 100% and not leaving a little bit of bend in it, you might end up hyperextending your knee because
Well, that's if you have improper form.
Yeah,
But
that's
a
typically what's
squat,
happening.
a squat really comes from the motion of you just sitting down and getting back up. That's what it is. You squat down and you squat back up.
Understood. Yeah.
It's a natural movement.
I mean, and I guess if you're training long enough, you will gain
Because we
some.
have some anomalies. Like I know a guy, he's not on steroids. He is just naturally gifted. And he could squat 5 plates easily, but not 10 reps, probably like 4 reps. Easily. He could squat
some
it.
Creole.
But yeah.
hey, you can't see these kind of
I'll
words
try my
and-
best.
But
what kind of shit
generally,
this is?
but that's kind of unique. That is not something that you'll find every day. But sometimes you look at some people
You guys cold, by the way?
and
No.
Oh,
you look at some people and you say you shouldn't be even attempting that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And they do, and you hear all kind of madness
Yeah.
taking place, and the knee pop out, or they
Right, that's what I
you know.
said.
But-
So
I mean, if you're talking in relation of performance enhancements to help you reach to that, what again? Remember when you take these things, it making you feel
like Superman.
correct. But what you're doing is you're actually going to overload your body to take an amount of stress that it's not really prepared for.
Right.
Because your body is recovering at a rate, a super rate, where it would take somebody 48 hours to recover. You're recovering in probably 24.
So you're not even promoting the use of it's protein, creatine shakes and none of that.
Well,
Or-
creatine is a difference. Creatine is a supplement. Those will fall under supplement.
because men is you, or we call it the Indian buff. If you know what I'm talking about, where is you.
We.
We know, but like when I say we, the umbrella of Trinidad. What I'm saying is say take one scoop, but now people making that not a supplement, because I believe supplement is you already have your diet and you take a spoon of this and cool. But men have that as their diet, and then okay, I'll eat a little doubles here, a little thing here, and then walk off poof with like this is just water. Nah. That's not this, but yeah, that's not that.
No, but
Well,
creatine is something your body naturally
produces.
produces. And the only time, again, you have to consult a doctor to find out where your levels are.
Yeah.
And the only time I would suggest that somebody check it out is if they have real low energy. Because the creatine helps with ATP, which is
I know that one from school.
I'd say
Triphosphate.
triphosphate. So
Right.
it's a whole process where you're all right. So
Look at this guy.
he knows something.
I know something.
so weightlifting is what they call anaerobic exercise.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So there's aerobic and anaerobic. Anaerobic exercise is where you're going for short sprints or short sessions of doing some kind of moving of a load, but there's no oxygen involved.
Like a sprint.
Correct.
Right.
So when you're pushing weights, that's why you always have to tell your client, hey, breathe. Right?
Right.
Your body now is required to produce energy at a faster rate. So ATP is being produced and it uses creatine in the process to do that. So you'll see a lot of weightlifters using that because of the amount of energy they would need in those short spurts. So they will want to basically top it up. So that's why it's called a supplement, because you already have it in your system and you're just supplementing what you do have.
Stop taking them 2 spoons. Just one. Yeah, just
All
say
right.
one spoon.
So this is a double-sided question, right? I come and say as someone who's training with you, they sign up for the 365 and a quarter
Right.
program, and they reach about halfway, and they come and start losing motivation. They then boy, I don't have it.
Right.
Energy. I'm thinking about taking creatine. I'm thinking about taking something. Would you recommend anything additionally other than natural food, or is there some sort of type of supplement that you would recommend as safe for people training?
Well, as a personal trainer, I'm not supposed to recommend any kind of supplement
Okay.
because I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist. I could guide people on how to eat, but when you actually want a diet and you want to find out those things, consult a doctor, consult a specialist.
And then, of course, these people is certified and it's not, what is it called? Bush.
Them bush.
Them bush
nutritionists.
gym men.
Because I've seen personal trainers prescribe routine diets for people, And I know it's bogus because I can tell you why. You're supposed to include all 5 food groups in every diet that you do. It is very necessary that people get the vitamins, the minerals, the protein, the carbohydrates, and fats.
So, you know what? I have gotten prescribed. All you have to do is just roll sweet potato. Sweet potato. They tell me.
And chicken breast.
Nah, I didn't even get that. It's just like sweet potato. What you need? If you don't want to do that, I can do that. Use beans and I get in.
And junk food and then
So
I eat what you want. And it doesn't work.
So I will always let them consult a specialist.
somebody.
Proper
Okay,
guy.
because this is new to me. This is all news, right? I never really went to a gym, right?
Nah, this is
That's what I say,
by purposely.
We are the opposite spectrum, right? And like literally looking at it from the point of view that, all right, so we gather so far that fitness is the ability to recover.
Well,
Because when you're taking them steroids and whatnot, they're just trying to get back to that point of feeling like Superman again.
they're more doing it for the aesthetics, right? They want to look
That's crazy.
a
That's
certain
crazy.
way, right?
And for
But they're
Tuesday,
not-
you be a bag.
So, all right, it's just like eating a bad diet, having a bad diet. If you think of your body as a car that has premium gas, if you keep putting diesel in that, what do you think? Wow,
Yeah, you see them in the gas station all the time.
you will eventually mash up the engine. You'll start to have problems,
For sure.
etc., etc. That's what you're doing when you eat a bad diet.
And say
you're
premium.
doing-
Yeah. Money, but you got one premium, bro.
No,
Cheers to you.
Must be nice.
Right. So when you because I have had conversations with guys who admitted to me that they're taking performance and enhancements, and then we start comparing diets.
But they're coming out to you because you know the truth.
Yeah, because you could tell, right?
Was it how you could tell?
Well,
never know.
You could tell.
they have signs like they get breakouts on their skin, pimples.
Right.
But to me, the clear sign, like, especially for a woman, you start seeing a square jaw.
Oh, she's getting
Testosterone, yeah.
And her
Because it's
voice
testosterone, deepen the voice.
Let's raise your chin.
Right.
And she
But-
got to start to get hair where she shouldn't be getting hair.
Chest on.
Yeah. And because remember, women have testosterone too. They just don't have it as much, as men. And we have men have estrogen too. We just don't have it as much as women.
So a girl like overtraining, would her body now start to produce testosterone?
What do you consider overtraining?
That's a serious one.
365. This I'm not talking about like.
I train 5 to 6 times a week.
So no, but you catch what I'm saying. So are you like end up super hard, like I lying down next to you and I cuddling
So I'm
you,
glad you bring that.
Yeah.
and then I touch your belly and it's like your belly
Good
just
question.
super hard.
Good question.
Or are you like soft and delicate like a?
You genetically have abs.
Mm-hmm.
That's genetics. So when I see a trainer has 10 clients and all 10 clients have abs, I'm like, dude, that's like one in probably 100 or 200 people would have a 6-pack. It is. I'm telling you.
So
it
all
is
these 6-packs we seeing.
something going on, right? So
Serious.
yeah, that's how normally you see. Again, remember Terry, I start with the genetics of the person, right? So you genetically gifted, you can see that. If you start lifting iron, you would definitely start seeing results probably faster than somebody else. Like him. I mean, you all are actually perfect contrast,
I
right?
was waiting for that. You genetically gifted. It's like, I mean, Jesus Christ, boy.
No, right. So he can't compare himself to you because genetically you're not on the same scale. So that's and the question, glad you raised that people believe if they start doing constant weightlifting, they automatically get hard. That is why, because the image that they're seeing of people lifting weights are hard people, but these people are not admitting that they're taking performance.
Exactly.
The reason why I think men get into that, like, I'm not sure how old you is, but I think like our generation.
Yeah.
Like if you're 30, 35 now.
I'm 40.
Huh? Okay, well, yeah, you don't grow up on that. We don't grow up on like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone,
Ronnie
and
Coleman.
Ronnie
Coleman.
no, I talk about because most of the times we'd be watching television
Right.
and movies. So
Right.
what we taught as a real strong man is like Arnold with the big guns
Right,
and with the bazookas and all kind of shit like that. So it's like,
Claude Van
yeah,
Damme.
I want to be like them, man. But then Arnold now would be like, well, yeah, when I was doing weightlifting, I was doing steroids.
Oh yeah.
I was doing steroids. So it's
And then he had heart problems.
yeah,
And he had this.
these
Every
kind of
last
things.
one of them. Every last one. This guy I was looking at, he's a social media influencer. He went to prison for a long period of time, but he's like Kali Muscle is the person name. You familiar with
What's
that
his
person?
name?
Nah.
Kali Muscle. So the youths basically will follow him, right? He's a kind of psycho because he's from Compton, the black kind
Oh,
of
right. Okay, what you talking about now?
So this man would do things like put coffee and protein powder and Coca-Cola. No serious thing, and Coca-Cola and shake it up and drink it and then start
Yeah.
and he was big and veiny and
That's
greasy.
like Liver King who said that he was eating raw
Yeah,
liver.
eating raw liver and I think tire and all that.
Yeah.
Wrong. Wait,
Liver King.
Liver King.
Tire, yeah, like rubber tire.
Come
You
on,
can
man.
eat that? That's like...
Wait, not just that.
You can't.
People believe him.
No, nobody. So everybody in the fitness industry was like, yeah, that's rubbish.
Yeah, he's
Because even yeah, when you look at him, yeah,
That's not fix it up.
My turn at turn now. Where's boy? God. Yeah.
right. When you look at him, you'll be like, yeah, there's no way you're just eating liver. But you gotta remember, the money is what everything is about, right? So if I get an athlete to come and say they take my product, and this how they end up becoming this, then you'd be like, yeah, I go buy it. There are a lot of people who on Instagram
all
who
selling.
will just do 3 or 4 reps. Or just, yeah, you do this today and you do that today, and then the workout might be something totally different because you're not really seeing what they're doing.
So it's a level of dishonesty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like everything else, I mean.
Just side note and thing. Everybody else observing it of a soul and like in the bush, like with a sniper rifle, even. Or you seeing this army brigade? I take Roland's like, hold on.
I swear I was on the them on the Destiny's Child.
No, I thought this was Operation Anaconda all over again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Gerard is here.
Gerard is here.
The hand is here. Taking pictures.
Yes, it's a lot of But yes, if you start working out, it takes so much, especially for a woman, to get hard muscles.
Yeah.
It takes years of dedication and work to get muscle.
So
and
China,
you're still not gonna look like those women who are actually taking PEDs. You're still not gonna look like that.
But I talking about, do you feel hard?
But what?
When I say hard, like I don't. Nah, that's like
You talk about muscle density.
Then muscle density in terms of, you know, like before you was doing the work, all the work, and like you might have a little bit of punch. I like a little
Muscle does
soft.
feel a little firmer,
yeah.
than fat. So obviously, if it is you do more exercise to reduce your fat composition, you're gonna feel a little firmer, but you're not gonna feel hard.
That's what I was asking. It's like, it's like you're hooking up and it's like, whoa. No, you don't get no complaints. No complaints. That's my question.
No.
trying to lift your pump with your washing machine.
It already crossed my mind, and I was like, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Fellas, if your girlfriend pick your pump with your washing machine,
Hey.
stop that relationship.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Don't take
They
them
might
thing
do
up.
that to you. They do that to you.
Hey, okay to that.
Hey, no girl lifting me up.
Nah, not my dog.
I really have to lift. I really have.
There's a piece of work.
I gotta walk to lift me, boy.
Nah, dog. Don't take
But
that.
again, the exercising is not just part of getting muscle. The nutrition is what's most important.
That was, I think, mashed me up most of all because your nutrition way better than mine.
Meh, thanks.
Your
I appreciate it.
nutrition way better than mine. Like,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
because you will watch me and be like, dog, you gonna eat anything more than like snacks today? And he's like, come and eat. Come, I eating this. What you eating?
Please give it.
Then you're eating, you go eating. You have a nice little, me now. Zumas or
Yeah,
Zumas
that's-
are doubles.
Yeah, let's eat off for the land. Let's just plant on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just good.
So that, yeah, he's a homegrown kind of guy now. Meanwhile, Zuma's back, take back,
Because
Doritos.
So you're eating quality calories, you're eating empty calories.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And because a lot of these snacks sugary, which is really empty calories, your body does make you feel as if you're full. And it causes different chemical reactions. So if you notice, a lot of people when they eat, they want to eat something sweet after, and then after that's it. They don't feel to eat anything else because of the chemical reaction from the sugar.
Stop doing that.
Zero nutritional value.
She keeps doing it.
Nutritional value.
Don't worry, dog. Next week, Tuesday.
Next week, performance
Started.
enhancing. PEDs.
Yeah.
Good.
Some PEDs and
Next time when they come back, I will have the back pimples.
right? Oh yeah, so we get into the whole moving on from the exercise aspect into ways eat now. You know, I want to shift the questions to more this series of different types of fasts and diets and programs that they have going on. You know, is it that these things are beneficial or is just another pie in the sky that does make you think, you know, I follow this and I'll be that? Because I would assume if somebody tell you eat what? Chicken breast and
What it is eat. I have to eat real sweet potato. I need complex carbs, so I just eat real sweet potato. You know, you might have to get beans because you don't eat all that meat.
So picture eating that 365 days.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
madness.
It's not sustainable.
That's crazy. You know,
And then my main thing with diet now is I had to feel hungry. If I don't feel hungry, it's are people who really just don't like eating that much. It's like
Well, you have to train yourself.
that's that I like if I when you put me on the circuit, I do none of the circuit. I had to force myself to eat, and I was like, yo, I can't eat.
yeah,
Remember,
trying to make it
yeah.
eat regularly.
Yeah,
He-
because you're not burning enough energy.
But I doing push-ups. I doing thing. I running well.
When we was doing some kind of work in here,
Yeah.
and every like hour,
Yeah, and
some
then
push-ups.
and then he was just like, "Hey, ready for lunch?" I was like, "Bro, we just ate." And he gave me it was some I forget what it was like.
it was light though.
It was light, and then he was like, "Hey, look at burger too." I was like, "Nah, I can't eat that. I can't eat that burger, sir."
Yeah, you see, you gotta take everything case by case. So there is no, to answer your question, there is no evidence that intermittent fasting works. It hasn't been around long enough for them to
does.
really test it.
Okay, so tell Mr. Francois that who is run every morning. He's run up and down this road. He's here with the man tell me. He said, boy, don't eat nothing in the morning and go and work out.
Right. You're talking about fasted cardio.
Right. So every morning
How old are you?
he could be about 60.
Okay.
So, as I say, it's case by case. So, even though there's no evidence that it might work for some people, and we were taught that if you are, because I went to a conference last year, I'm actually going to the same conference in May in Orlando, and you get to meet a lot of the trainers in the United States, dietitians. They even have people to show you how to structure your business, etc.
So this is your 100% main source of income. This is your
yeah,
career.
Yeah. It's my
Because
career.
a lot
I
of
take
people
it
just
very
do it as
seriously.
a side hustle.
Correct. I take it very seriously. And they were saying that if you had a client, for instance, that was on intermittent fasting and it working, leave them.
Okay.
Because for some reason, that works for their body. But to go and recommend it for somebody else, they could try it, but it mightn't work for them. So the guidelines when it comes to diet is to make sure that it has all 5 food groups. That is the main guideline.
Standard.
Standard. So if somebody gives you a diet and it's excluding fats or it's excluding carbs, then that can't be a proper diet.
Unless of course it's like a dietitian tell them, yo, you have a little bit too much fat, so you might have to cut down on X.
Yeah, but they wouldn't take it out completely.
Okay.
Because your body requires carbs for brain function and your body uses different
Things for
energy
different
sources,
things, yeah.
fats and carbs. So that same ATP is carb energy you use versus fats. So aerobic exercise, which is the other one, like long distance running, your body does a crossover from carbs into fat. And it start using your fat storages versus your carb storages. Yeah. So
it's take a period of time before your body start actually using up fat.
it has happened, you don't even know it.
It will, so just
So, all right, to tell that, to know that it's making the switch, when you start becoming out of breath, your body already switch over into carb because it needs you to produce ATP faster. Because you're now telling your body that we are going into a sprint. So it switches from fats to carbs, ATP.
So I guess you have to train your body to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to withstand that. I understand.
So endurance training,
yeah.
it would be, so that's why long distance runners, before they do a big race, they do something called carb loading.
Charlo, you're not going to beat my 5K and thing, you know, because this wake up in the morning and feel you go and run dog. That dead, right? So yeah.
But they a recent studies show that they against that fasted cardio. They're saying that you should kickstart your energy
With food.
with food.
Because you need to put gas in the tank before you start. You can't, like, it's not
If it's
gas.
a half a banana,
Yeah, something.
something
Hey, yo.
to start the process.
That's crazy that you say that.
Half a banana.
Thing.
Yeah. That's pause, bro. Hey, yo, that's
That is all.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fake will be smooth.
Yeah, one. Yeah, one.
Yeah, one.
Because
Yeah,
you
one.
want
Sorry about
I want one in the bag.
Okay, so then you guys party, obviously, whatever, or they celebrate carnival, etc. So then what the alcohol consumption involved in that? Suppose you're someone like you're like Cubanos and are talking about the cigars, not the gills.
Right.
If you like a Cuban, it's like a Cuban gills, bro. But if you like smoking, drinking,
Right.
and then could you have that now? Because you might be a recreational smoker, you might be a heavy drinker. Can you do that now and still have this?
Well, smoking is, I mean, they're both gonna inhibit your performance. They're both.
You see Trinidad footballers is why like don't go World Cup.
I mean, there's some, again, there would be that one person who could do all of those things and probably get up and run for 10 miles. But that's not gonna be everybody.
That's a pipe on them science, don't man.
No, because
Not the only person.
I know, because I think in Cristiano Ronaldo, make Coca-Cola lose like billions of dollars because they offer him
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, and it's like, nah, don't drink that. I drink
drink
water.
water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And but clearly he is rich enough to be like, I need to eat this kind of food.
Right.
I have to train this amount. I have to not be drinking soda or whatever. He is quite strict in terms of that. But then again, high performance, he needs his body in a high performance.
Correct. So that might be for now at this point.
Yeah.
Just like that, people.
Because
You
he
don't know
can
what
end
happen when you get older.
Because he can end up like Ronaldo now.
Right.
Like
But-
I don't know fat Ronaldo.
Arnold.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. But he understands his body. He understands that this works for me. And part of the fitness journey is what really works for you as well. So you just have the standards as you say, your checklist. Make sure you're eating quality calories, which is quality protein, quality carbs, etc.
You could cook, right? You could cook. Okay, this okay. You just keep cooking. You do the cooking.
Right? You must do some form of strength training because as we get older, we lose muscle mass. So that's
This week, dog. This week.
This week,
right. You must your bones as you get older.
bone densities go down.
Correct. Osteoporosis, all of those different things.
Men that suffer from osteoporosis.
Not as much as women.
Okay.
And that really comes from a lack of calcium in your system. So every time you contract your muscle, your body actually uses calcium in that process.
Because I think I need to bring like a dietitian on here, like because you talking about the fitness aspect. Because it had two shows on Netflix. Two shows on Netflix now that was like, or if you put meat apparently is the worst thing ever. It always have like some propaganda documentaries like this is the worst thing ever. Or you can be 100% vegan and you don't really need any kind of animal based.
Because a man tried to tell me at time, he said, boy, what's the gorilla? The gorillas will need bamboo. You can fight a I say, big man. This conversation's on about different narrative.
He's a humanizer gorilla.
Yeah.
That's a whole gorilla. Are you trying to
The
say I
thing
look like
is,
a monkey?
with the vegan, so I'm not really too versed about vegan, but when it comes to not eating animal protein, so the reason why is the main source for, especially when it comes to muscle building, is because it has the 11 amino acids that your body cannot produce. So our body, so our body produces amino acid, and the 11 of it we don't get to help build muscle. We find it in animal protein. The thing is when you eat veggies, so you get protein in grains and legumes, peas and rice, for instance. They only have like 7 that you require, and then the rice might have the other 3.
Right.
So when you eat them together, which is what they call complementary proteins, when they come together, then you get all 11. It takes your body about 24 hours to combine them. So you can eat them. You can eat peas in the morning, you can eat rice in the night. Once it's within a 24-hour window, it will combine it. However, the amount you have to eat, because in order for you to build muscle, you have to eat approximately 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh.
And I try to track the calories. I try to do all these things. And it's like 2,000 calories is a lot to eat.
Yeah. So, I mean, but...
I was eating Burger King because that's when I started making 2,000. I was eating Burger King 3-4 until my heart started hurt. I was like,
the calories you're talking about is to help sustain your life, you know.
Bare minimum.
The bare minimum. Once you go over that, that's when your body starts to store fat.
yeah, but I drive an E right through way.
Them poor
Quarter
parts.
tank.
Them poor
That fuel pump, yeah.
filter, like, jeez.
But that bamboo for the pause. Hey, yo.
Yeah, you gotta give more
That was
time.
crazy, though. That's the sight of it.
Nah, I'm boxing well, boy. I'm boxing real well, boy.
I mean,
No,
one day.
somebody put well, me and some trainers were talking at the time about if it's impossible to supplement. No, it is impossible to get all the protein you require through whole food. I think it's impossible. That's why supplements come in. However, it is exactly what it is, a supplement.
And not the diet itself.
Correct. You can't replace the meals that you're having with a supplement. So a doctor I spoke to was telling me, he showed me a different way to look at nutrition. So a lot of people find it hard because of the busy day to sit down and have a meal, right? He's saying to always have a protein shake because a protein shake is on you. Because a protein shake is a meal on the go.
Okay, could punch work? You know what I'm saying? Like always had the punch man and thing. Peanut
Like
punch.
Harry's punch.
Peanut punch. They're not good for you?
Suckerman punch and thing.
Punch not
Full
good
of
for you?
condensed milk.
No. Tell them to put
condensed milk. So they use oat milk instead?
Yeah, seaweed.
But peanut butter is fats, right?
Okay. So you pass a Curab Junction and drink a punch. There's
Yeah.
No, okay, what about a seaweed punch, a beetroot punch?
moss.
Yeah, I don't drink
Moss.
punch. I don't.
Well, I mean, I gotta look at the sugar content in it as well.
Yeah.
Nah, there are no table, no ingredients. There's nothing on them
So
punch.
it's kind of, you don't want to chance it.
Are all these things I thinking, yeah, it's in my little peanut, my little beetroot.
You know, checking how much the calories eat.
Jesus Christ.
So that's Zumas and Conquer.
I believe
Well,
we'll boss if he get through, he get through. If he don't get through, he don't get through. But that's that song he was singing, get the oats, get the supplement, get the nuts.
Yeah, what man number?
That's not a punch he was singing about.
No,
Get
yeah.
a girl and go get your children.
No, yeah, man, little drink a little magnum and thing.
I'm
For what?
flabbergasted.
For muscle?
Yeah.
To build muscle?
No, okay. When I was going to
Not the muscle. You think
when I was going to
muscle.
well, yeah, your lifestyle training helps with that as well. That kind of muscle.
Look, some men
supposed to.
Some men just come to you and like,
Erectile function.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta go to that.
Yeah, dog. Well, so I said, boy, dog, push-ups will help.
nah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, so
That might be the one thing that actually I don't need help with. This went left. Anyway,
Very
I just had to bring it back in now.
so yeah.
Right.
What was going?
I was going to take it, don't worry, dog. He's got his back, like, yeah. So, we're gonna move into a little bit more complex conversation. Right? This now, I went and do some research because I know it was coming. Right?
Hey, you.
I was a point at the lady. I don't think.
Now you point at both.
Sometimes just make a mistake, dog. Right? Like, just crucify me for every time. So, right? Anyway, we're gonna get in. Well, I was going down a little rabbit hole in terms of health and fitness when the Gerard told me that there were 2 health and fitness people coming. I was like, what? You know, anyway, I boxed up on this man called Andrew Huberman. What do you know about this man?
I actually listened to him this morning.
Excellent.
Great.
Right. So,
You know who he
He's
talking
a
about?
neurologist.
yeah, like he's a Stanford
Yeah. Professor.
professor.
In
I boxed up on him today.
what? Professor in what?
Brain.
Neurologist, brain
neurologist,
function.
okay.
and stuff.
So a lot of interesting things came up. I didn't have a lot of time to do all my research. But anyway, sleep, right? Because you touched on it earlier on, and we went through the exercise, eat, maintain, but the sleep, as you said, is the most important part.
Right.
That one episode, I think a guy was talking about the red light therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, you follow this guy Andrew thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Religiously. Okay.
I watched like about an hour today. I was like, this is amazing. Anyway, red light therapy. So
Jesus Christ, boy. In like every a station, let's do so. Good.
hover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talking about sleep, I know you don't want to go as extreme to talk about red light therapy.
He has studies.
But he been doing this apparently. You want to, I talking to the men and them who trying to get 6-pack for carnival, summer, you would see them going gym religiously, running down. It's all aesthetics, right?
Right.
When you finish gym, you're on the avenue. And then you might be in this party. And then you're going by this smally house. You're drinking a punch and you're running in for a magnum. You never know.
Right.
And then,
And you're taking your pill. And then you're taking the pill.
oh, Jesus Christ.
And then you're taking the pill. You gotta take the pill.
So emphasize to somebody who live in that lifestyle, what could actually go wrong if, put it this way, like they live in that lifestyle and they live in that lifestyle too.
Yeah, they're trying to be fit. Quote
Fit
unquote.
and
Remember, I was telling you that the workout is actually the least in terms of the percentage of the ecosystem of a healthy lifestyle. Your muscle could only grow when you're resting.
So how much sleep do I need? I slept whole day today.
I've heard that your brain switches off, or your heart switches off. Your brain switches off after 4 hours of constant sleep. As in, you have your
reset.
normal motor skills, but it goes to rest. Your body goes to rest. So anything after 4, you should be. That's why they say 8 hours.
So to make sure you get it 4 and then
Yeah, but it's unrealistic to get 8 hours
Every night.
every night. But I could give it from my. So I listen to Huberman a lot. Actually, I was listening to the one where he was talking about getting sunlight into your eyes first thing in the morning.
yeah, so I'm gonna start listening to that man.
Yeah, he's quality.
Right.
get sunlight into your eye.
Yeah. It is is basically start everything in your brain. It is help you actually to rest better at the end of the day.
So it's like a circadian
UV light you mean specifically?
No,
Or
sunlight. He actually talk about using bright lights. So like if you wake up before the sun comes up, put on all the lights in your room, in your house, because it is start a process in your brain
Have Alexa for that.
to help you
Alexa
get
for that.
more energy. And
All right.
it helps the process with resting as well.
Yeah, definitely go and start listening to that man. He has some real deep insight.
Yeah. Because he interviewed a guy that I actually follow, Jeff Cavalier. He trains people like an athlete. He was part of the Mets and stuff like that. So he showed a lot of exercises, but Jeff is based more on efficiency of what not to do and why not to do it, because it's all goals, right? Because like everything else, there's the laws of diminishing return when it comes to exercising as well. Because what you're doing when you start exercise and you reach a point, that's why actually what you define as overtraining. Because when you overtrain, you put your body from an anabolic state to a catabolic state. So your body starts to produce a hormone called cortisol, which starts breaking down your muscles.
That's the stress. I think that's stress.
Yeah. It starts breaking down your muscles. Because your body's main function is to keep you alive, and it's not about building muscles.
So muscles supposed to complement your lifestyle.
Yeah, well, it helps going forward because, like, when I went to the conference, they were talking about most of the vehicle accidents in Florida were with older people. And it happened because they weren't able to just turn.
Okay.
Right? So they were stressing about flexibility, mobility. But it's important that you do strength training when you get older because of muscle density and you just be able to be capable to do more stuff. I have a client, he is 70 years old, Dave is 70 years old. I can show you videos of Dave. I mean, he now go and squat down in a hole, but maximum effort
And 70.
at 70 years old.
Putting some young people to shame.
He's
Yikes.
running. This Friday
Not
we do shuttle.
Dave, sorry.
Yeah, Dave.
Challenge accepted. Meet me at dawn.
But Dave had a history of playing basketball. He always was active. So he prepared himself
For the twilight.
to where he is now.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's never a bad time to start training. The right time to start training is now.
Because the main thing is people just want to sit down and play a game, you know. Not me specifically, but some people just like, dog, that's real work, you know. Because every day I was like,
But you see,
today.
training in the gym, and this is from what I see, and this is from having like 6 years of clients. The people who really stick to it, look at their lives. They have discipline in everything else that they do.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Correct. And those who, I had a client years ago, would come for 2 weeks and then have an excuse for 2 weeks. And then that person was working with somebody that I knew. And I just asked him, I said, what's their work ethic like? And they're like, nah, that person always late. They're poor work ethic because they just don't have discipline. Because it's not just, I mean, I try to make all my clients will tell you, I try to make the workout as complex as possible because it's not just about building muscles. It's about getting you to think. It's mental sharpness. So we doing something, but there's something in it for you to be thinking. You have to be, all right, this is what it is, because I want you to always be thinking about what you're doing at that point in time.
It's something like some ABC shit.
And we are talking about, so I kind of like that now. Go be like, I can't get the 20, no. And like, you're one of the people who's give up. But they'll come right through. But
They're
like,
just lazy.
they'll give up in terms of, I can't make 20. Oh gosh, boy, Greg, boy, I can't make 20. I can make 19 and a quarter.
That's fine.
And you're just cool?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
cool.
it's the effort. I mean, I'm not really, I'm a guide, you know. I just guiding you, creating a program for you to follow. But the person who's doing it is you.
I never had a conversation with someone in your profession. I always had a perception of people in your profession. Forgive me.
Right. You're probably right, but go ahead.
It's always
with
some red men.
Nah, not just red men. I see some dark skinned fellas. Actually, I saw a dark skinned fella involved in a fight in Long Circular Mall. Well, I don't know the people, so I could see it. Involved in a fight in Long Circular Mall with some white woman about some fitness training went wrong. So apparently he started sleeping with the woman and then...
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Yeah, and as
Well, I know the
That
people.
is the perception.
No,
I
no,
think,
no,
and
that's
no,
the
I
perception.
told,
Yeah.
But I told Greg that before. Remember, I
Yeah.
told you, when I think personal trainer, I think dudes who just want to get down
Yeah.
with their clients.
So-
and deal with it,
The-
So,
I mean, that's what
it's
really...
unfortunate
So I
that
came
that
from
is
a-
the perception of the.
I come from a corporate background, right?
Oh, so you had
So I did, one of the jobs I did was product development and stuff like that. And I understood how the business worked from both a business side and a technology side. So I had an idea of how I wanted to structure, not a hustle, but business. So what I did was I had a trainer at the time and I understudied him, his methods. But sad to say, I actually had this conversation yesterday with somebody who knows the person, and I told them that I learned more what not to do than what to do. Because he was good at his craft, but he was very unprofessional. Right? So, and then there were a few other guys I looked at, and apart from that, I started to look at different styles of training as to what I wanted to get into. But it is more like a product. I looked at it from, this is the product. All right, so everybody want to get muscles. All right, but what is everybody not doing? And a lot of people don't do functional stuff. They think they're doing functional stuff, but they're not doing functional stuff. So I started to go into that space. And when I started to go into that space, another trainer reached out to me. And he said, hey, you might be interested in doing group stuff, because I'm a personal trainer. Well, now I'm certified as a group trainer as well. And I said,
didn't even know you had to get certified to be a group trainer.
Yeah, I didn't
well,
know that.
the
I thought that was a difference.
the principles are the same. So there's, especially in the States, and I would say something that's mind blowing because I only learned that last year. You have to state whether you're personal or group. So if you,
Everything regulated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
yeah,
That's
and not only that, you gotta have insurance for your
just in case they get
clients.
injured and the other people.
Actually,
yeah.
They don't care. You could not be certified. They just want to make sure that you have insurance.
It's all about that green paper, boy. It's paper, right? Or cloth? Not paper, yeah.
Right.
Green paper.
So
Yeah, people.
when he started to show me that, then I started to look at a different niche there. But again, it's all viewing it like a product. Okay, do I want to do this? What are the returns on this? And I know one of the returns you're not going to get is when you start sleeping with your client. Because when you start sleeping with your client,
Business and pleasure.
Mary will tell Jane,
Why are you watching me?
and then Jane, and it goes around, and that is, I don't know if these guys don't know this, but that is the worst rep you would want as a personal
Yep.
trainer.
Yeah, because to me, every single personal trainer I met beside
Yeah.
this gentleman.
Hey, message. You know what talking to right now.
Listen, you know yourself, dog. Take an example now, man. Right? This is how it's supposed to do.
If you want to have sex with your clients, work Pizza Hut and just get them extra anchovies. That's just how it's
I work out of a gym, and even if somebody is not my client, there's still a potential client.
Here you have to be certified. Like it have that much regulation.
No, there's no board. There's
Your
no
racket
board.
could
And
still run.
that's
Yep.
that's the problem that we having, because I mean you're hearing people saying that they're certified, they can't produce it. You could tell. you can tell by just how they apply the exercises, how they from the time somebody walk to you, you're supposed to be able to know what's wrong with that person.
Really? Yeah.
Samson produces certificates, eh?
Understood. Indulge me, right? I'm going to take a little story time. Right? With the Twilight. Right? Indulge me. Right. So my background, I don't want to get too detailed and specific, right? But is basically in the behavioral management side of things.
Right.
And throughout this conversation, what we have been slightly touching on, but not particularly that addressing directly, is the mental fortitude behind this entire lifestyle. Anything for that matter, mental fortitude, right? Some people might think it's easy to run a podcast.
Right. No.
Real hard, man. Pause. Hey,
Going again, but
hey. Right, hard. That's too hard.
I'm not crying in baseball.
It's not crying in baseball, though.
But again, it has reached a certain point and then realize
Right.
this scene starting to feel like pain, right?
Well, she's inclined. Yeah, you can ask her.
Let's address this to you because you have all the answers. This is prime example of a certified fitness trainer, right? Group and private, right? When you reach that place you call the wall, that place where you don't think you want to wake up in the morning to go because yesterday was horrific, and you start feeling hungry, feeling tired, feeling your brain start to give you the whole, hey, I just here to survive, you know. I not on this muscles thing.
I really had a workout today. I mean, yesterday was hard, you know.
Yeah.
I do the 20 squats you want to.
Yeah. And I not feeling like I fat. And so the mind start talking to the mind.
You know
Yeah.
exactly.
The little voice in your head.
Yeah, where that motivation does come from.
So for me, I learned to give myself grace sometimes because your body is not a machine, and there would be times where you work out real hard the day before and you're just feeling tired, or for women you might have your monthlies and you're just not feeling to go, etc. So you need to be able to give yourself the grace to listen to your body. And if you're feeling too tired, the best thing for you to do
Come on, lie
is
down, man. Eat
to
some
rest.
Zubas. Come on, lie down. Eat some Zubas.
A big pack of
Oh,
Zubas.
that's
Yeah,
a big
the
part.
best thing to do is to rest,
You're not fat to me.
right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so and as Greg said, the rest is important, in terms of like sometimes you get like an extended feeling of God, I just not feeling this
Yeah. This
life
fitness
is
thing.
too hard,
Yeah.
it's too tight, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
The next
that-
shot does.
Yeah, that they listen to. And then you remember the reason why you're doing it and the benefits that Greg would have touched on. Why you're on this journey, where you came from, the differences that you feel healthier, you look better, your brain is sharper, it's something that for me I grew to like. Not everybody like working out, and some people just go because they feel they have to. But I fell in love with it personally. But for even the people who they just go in because it's proper work-life balance, etc.
Yeah.
They just have to remind themselves of the reason why they started to do it in the first place, and the all the benefits that you would tend to feel when continuing on the journey. And also still say, well, okay, there'll be times when you just don't feel to go that particular day, or if it is you feel like, okay, I don't want this routine had to change, to change something that will keep you interested and that will keep you motivated.
So basically, as somebody who trying to live that lifestyle, you're admitting that it's be challenging.
It is. It's not easy because even for me, I am not 100% correct when it comes to eating. I mean, they say everything in moderation. There'll be times where you'll be a little more strict. So Carnival, for example, you had a
Take a drink.
not a cigarette drink, but
Moderation.
the diet will be a little more on point.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, leading up to Carnival.
Right, ladies.
Because you want to
Yeah.
look, at least for me.
Right.
So I'm talking about my personal.
Let's get these carnival food.
For me,
Get these.
I would be a little more strict
Right.
during that time, but I'm not 100%, okay, I can't eat this, I can't eat ice cream, I can't eat I can't drink wine. I'm not like that. Everything has to be in moderation. What I would do though, if I am drinking alcohol, I'll drink. My chaser wouldn't have a lot of calories in it, so I won't drink a chaser. Or I'll make sure I drink a lot of water the next day. So there are little things you would do to kind of compensate for the tiny splurge that you'll have.
Yeah. No, you go ahead and you say you have to say.
I don't know what you want. I promise I don't know what you want.
But the best thing to do is don't drink at all, right? But for the
What?
ones who drink, it's, a little thing in moderation is not
Because
bad.
one of them fitness men, right, who be buff and we hear stories about him. Anyway, he tell me all the time, he say drinking vodka, you don't gain weight because it's
Vodka is my drink.
It's true. That's true because
If you Google it, is the vodka has the least amount of calories
But
compared to
gaining weight is just really when you consume in excess of your calorie.
no, because I used to take all my fitness advice from this man, but talking to you now,
Yeah,
I don't question everything this man said to me.
I'm sure
all
he
right.
had
So
to.
if you had a choice between, I'm not bashing Quaker Oats, but Quaker Oats have instant oats, right? If you had a choice between that and fries, as a healthy option, you choose the Quaker Oats, right?
Wait, what? I can't eat Quaker Oats now, boy.
No. If you choose
Understand.
between the Quaker Oats
Oats
and
or
fries.
Fries is the worst thing
But
about
if you choose
Right.
Quaker Oats and roll oats.
Roll oats. Then
You'll
roll
choose
oats will be
the
a
roll
better
oats.
option.
Oh,
than
I'm better
the-
thing than Quick Oats. Okay.
Yeah,
Instant oats,
instant oats have a lot of sugar
A lot of
in
sugar.
it.
roll oats.
Yeah, like out of the pack. Yeah, they just scald with
Roll
water.
oats or steel cut oats.
Steel cut oats. And so what what you want to look at, what
My
he's
mind
doing
is
is
blown.
right. He's making a comparison of vodka compared to something
Alcohol.
else.
Worse.
It better than Star.
And it
Better
better
than
than-
Star.
than a
Oh, sorry,
beer.
a beer. You can't say that, right?
Correct.
Better than
But
a beer.
Beer than a beer.
Sorry,
so
serious.
that's what he's saying. But the truth is, once you consume more than the calories that your body needs, you're going to automatically store it. So whether it be vodka, whiskey.
It's the same thing. This is leading back to the point of why you had to get certified, you know.
Yeah, well,
Because people just tell you all kind of thing and you just go telling people, hey.
But now, by
Yeah.
chance, this fella who you talking about, he's jam, he customers?
Yes. Hey.
Well,
but to touch what Tess was saying about the motivation and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, again, people compartmentalize training like it is discipline and it's something that it's so hard, but it's just like every other task you do in your life. And if I am sure your podcast, you want to go from this to maybe YouTube.
You want to interview Donald Trump one of these days.
Right.
we on mute.
We on YouTube?
Right.
want
But
to
I
watch
saying, but
Just joking.
paid content, right? Like
Oh,
somebody
no.
paying you. You understand?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, that's-
milestones as to what
Of
it
course.
is you're doing.
Of course.
There's some people who will come to me and say, hey, listen, I want, when I reach 50 years old, I want to be able to pick up a child because I don't have a child as yet. So I want to be able to be mobile and flexible and strong enough to do that. That's a goal.
The man literally read my face now, boy. How you
Right?
know? How you
But
know? How
then
you look?
the shit up thing about that is, then they will say that and then they see Dave walking and Dave is 70 years old.
Dave sounded so more and more like one of them gym douchebags.
No, that's exactly what it is. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that's
remember
really
back-
living? Yeah, he's come out with spinners. That's really living.
82? Yeah, remember me back in
So-
82.
Right, but so you would set that goal and it's all about goals because
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
trainer, I had a train too, right? And after my morning start at 4, I have my first client at 5:15, 5:30, and I finish at 6:30 in the afternoon, right? I have like roughly 2 hours lunch on a real busy day. So Monday is a real busy day for me.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Right. So I will just tell you how my day is structured. So I'll have breakfast in the morning, and then at 8 I'll have a shake because at that time, as I said, your shake is really a breakfast, as a meal on the go. I can't stop to eat because my clients and I'm around.
You're moving.
By the time I reach 11 o'clock, I just be gassed out. I just had to sit down, refocus myself. That same Huberman was, if you look at some of his interviews, he was talking about how you prepare yourself for a workout.
Meditation? You talking about like meditation? or
But
something?
meditation will be after because that's when you want to take your heart rate down. But
Okay.
before your workout, he was saying that if somebody was, for instance, taking a pre-workout every day, your body becomes accustomed to it. So you either had to increase the dosage.
Okay.
But he was saying try not to do 2 workouts using that because your body will not become accustomed. Well, it will take longer for it to become accustomed to it. But he said even the way you warm up, the way how you prepare, because your warm up is really a preparation for what you're gonna do after. And there are different ways of how you could warm up, right? So you could do the treadmill if you want, but we do something called activation. So if you're doing legs, we would do a lot of the patterning movements that pattern what we're going to do. So if you're going to do lunges, we do just body weight lunges. They open up their hips, they activate the quads, all of those things, because we squat into the right. So we had to open up your back, we had to open up your hips because we needed to go up and down, right? But those things, the music you listen to, sometimes I have a half of a fig.
I thought you were going to say half a
All right.
white oak or something.
And then
I thought I was going to say portion. I was like, all right, sorry.
and
So talking my language.
All right, so that's preparation, and then I would have the other half when I finish.
Okay,
Because
okay.
bananas is high in carbs, right? So it will help with the recovery process. But all that to say that I would sit down, be tired, and then I remind myself why I'm here. You are your product. If you don't train, you know what's gonna happen? You're not gonna look like a trainer. How could you tell people about living a lifestyle and you're not living the lifestyle? And I just remind myself,
Don't
it's
be
like
a
a mantra.
hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite.
But by doing that, you're separating the sheep from the goat immediately, because somebody will see you, talk to you, and realize, nah, that man.
So now I had a
So
pound,
serious.
30 pounds to be a trainer. Shit is this?
But I mean, some people look at what I do and say it's too intense.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is that a trainer is supposed to be able to scale what it is you're doing. So Tessa is an advanced client. I train everything at her. Everything. Because
Yeah, dog.
I know.
Yeah, that's
right, that's right.
So could you, with the certification you got, that would be good enough to train a boxer? So say, yo,
No.
I want to be a boxer.
No, because we really want to be boxers.
So,
Muay Thai, I want to fight Mike Tyson and people of you too.
all right.
We'll talk about after.
but this is how I look at it. A personal trainer certification is really like the equivalent to a GP in a doctor will. So they kind of give you a broad knowledge of what you're going to do. But if you start to go into athletes, there is an athlete certification.
And that's
And there are courses that you do, and there are degrees, sportsman, all of those things that you go
Because I
into.
guess that's what driving humans to elite level.
Oh yeah. Because
So it's different.
the application, I mean, I use some form of performance training. That's what it is. It's performance training. So you would see them do things like box jumps. You would see them do clean and snatch, power. They'll do a lot more power moves than the average person. But you have to be specialized in doing that, because you have to train them in the movements that they do. So a boxer.
Oh, so you must know the sport.
Oh yeah. You have to understand which muscles are moving, what support, what was stabilizers. It's all that is very, very interesting.
Because he's more into the boxing. I'm more into like Muay Thai. I like the Muay Thai. The skinniness now. I say, all right, that's my sport.
I like the sweet side.
I went to an Indian face and that kind of thing. So we differ. But yeah, I ain't getting into your head yet. He damaged me last time.
You want to break in here?
Yeah. I tell you, I catch him and he was like, nah, there's no work on it.
I big walk, plenty walk like. Yeah. So where you see yourself now heading into this the future of your career, right?
Well, so before I went to this conference, I was actually having a internal conflict, because I deem myself to be an intelligent guy. And again, seeing guys sleeping with their clients, seeing people doing madness, I consider madness and rubbish in the industry. I was like, maybe this below me now. Honestly.
Because you're not okay. Average IQ for trader is 85.26, right? And that's the actual thing. So you don't put yourself as an 85.
Right. So
Good.
when I travel now, apart from that, the industry is one that was real, quote unquote, fight down, right? So people bad talking people.
This is Trinidad.
We're in
sure.
a colony. This is a colony.
That's
Right.
what's happening
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Right. When I went to the States, I went to the conference. Well, first of all, it was mainly women in the room. So
Oh.
it shows you, no, and these are trainers, right? These are personal trainers, these are group trainers. It shows you where the focus was, right? So it was easy to identify that there was one class I went to, because it's very vigorous. It's like eight classes, and it's an hour each class, and each class was you could become physically involved. So we doing circuits, you're doing aerobics, you're doing kettlebell, you're doing so for 8 hours I was just doing that, right? By the end of the day, everybody has come together, because we all staying in the same hotel, and started having conversations. And then they were mind blown that the industry not even regulated here.
Oh, because
Right.
Okay.
And then when we start to have conversations with them, and these are people who train in NFL athletes.
okay, like
They pro.
yeah.
I could show you my inbox. If I want to find out some, they want me to try something, we have that communication now. So much so that I reached out to one of them because the person had 2 classes back to back, but the name was similar. And I was like, are these 2 different classes? And they just, I don't know, she just responded, no, they're 2 different classes, whatever. And then she realized, wait, is G2 Fitness? She said, wait, you coming out here? I was like, yeah. She said, oh,
Oh, so she had no idea.
yeah, she met me last year.
So she was that's invaluable.
Right. And not only that, I was now in the capacity as a student. So she was teaching things. But because the people were at a certain fitness level, she came prepared to give this amount on the scale. But then she realized, wait, this fella could take jamming. So she started bringing stuff.
yo.
Right? Yeah, sorry. I too. This fella, yeah. Sorry.
Hold on.
Hey, press that.
You're
Speeding.
No, it's the first one. No, it was a
Pause.
Right?
But so after that now, she messaged to say that she basically had to come with her guns now. Everything because she has a student who willing to learn because she follows me. She's been following me for a year, and she's been reaching out to me. And there's another guy I collaborate with from Texas. He has a very unorthodox way of training people, and he invited me.
thing is,
Right, so he invited me. He said, "Come out here to Texas. Let's do a session together. Let's do a collab together." That's how far I reached. So when I came back, I told her, I felt like if it's somebody, and I know there are other people out there in the industry because I met them, we had to raise the bar.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my first,
what
Local.
yeah.
right? If it had to be where I collab with people, get them to come here, we do workshops, however. But I want to raise this because there was something said to me in one of the classes where the lady said, as I said it earlier, she said, before you reach your doctor, you reach your PT. She said, if you don't understand how important your job is, you should step outside of this room now. That's how serious it is to the human race. So that's how serious I take my job. So apart from raising the bar, I eventually want to go into my own space because what I do is a mixture of different styles of training. And it's not too conducive to what a gym is.
Okay.
Yeah, the gym is, because we still, I don't want to say backward, but we haven't updated the way that we look at gyms because our gyms now are more functional space. If you look at what they're doing is having a lot of warehouses in the States with turf, where people they're training like athletes, right? They're training people like athletes now. It's no longer, all right,
Just call it
Chest press.
CrossFit.
well,
Why she's smiling for? Yeah, what's this?
we had this conversation
Okay.
because I'm not a fan of CrossFit mainly because I am a fan of proper form.
Oh, because CrossFit, I think it had competitions with that. Like CrossFit people could do more reps, but then they just...
But they don't have
Yeah.
to maintain proper
But you
form.
have to look at the history of it. CrossFit really came about from ex-athletes that came together and do that. So when you take somebody, who would never work out in their life, and then throw them into doing them, I don't know, it's
Whichever
calling
one.
arms or whatever.
pull-ups thing.
I think statistically they are the highest. They have the highest amount of injuries when it comes to discipline and
I'm not gonna lie though, them CrossFit users kinda be. You look at them.
I never met a CrossFit.
You never saw
just
them.
watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You
We take it, hold on, we take it to watch it on YouTube. We'll talk about that after. Remind me to
Zumas.
Zumas motherfucker looking for the reason I mentioned it 3 times.
Because he was Zumas.
I want a sponsorship.
That salty snack, but
Hey.
I like Zumas. Don't.
so baby, so
Hey, me and my
I like
babes
Zumas.
going to
not
sharing
again.
back.
I enjoy me some
Alright.
Zumas.
Hey, and we want drinks over some vodka. It's Tuesday. That's the name of the episode.
Sumas and vodka. All right, cool. Yeah. So, we have a little time again.
Yeah.
I was going and getting into the whole. You was telling about your free tier plans and whatever the case is, right? But even in this Trinidad and Tobago being unregulated and we don't have much things going in the way of standards. And I mean, we have a whole bureau of standards. I don't know if that would anything, but
We actually had that?
yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good to know.
I only found out about that last month because I had to go and check out something. But the Bureau of Standards is something that we don't really use as much as we should as professional people in this country. Metrology apparently is a thing, and that's how you measure anything.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I don't know.
Listen, I went to a course last week.
Yeah, he's prepped for the guests. He's prepped for the guests. We know
The
this one.
Bureau of Standards, right? And it's like, if you have a profession that is not as regulated as, you would say,
Fitness,
America, any European country, you could actually approach them. And I'm not sure if they will work with you, or you could propose things and they will help you use metrology to actually create a product. And citizens of the country don't even know.
And how, well, my thing is, how come, like, I think it stopped. Remember at that time when, specifically for fitness now, it, like in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, you used to have these infomercials if you use this product. How come it never had like a Trinidad version of, hey, well, buy my DVD and we'll get here.
Like a Billy Blancs. How come I have a Billy Blancs something from Trinidad?
Yeah, no, I've never seen it.
But there are a lot of people who doing it.
Fit for life, man.
Yeah. They have people who do a lot of the. But I think they're doing it virtually now, where they would do a group session.
Yeah, I remember TV Dead too.
Yeah.
That's true.
Advertising.
DVDs.
But
and
I have because I look at fitness posts. A lot of the Google ads for Trinidad come up with people advertising group training and personal training, etc. So.
But I taken a lot to the place where we as Trinidadians now, because the show name is Hee-Haw. So we also had to take a satirical jab at the things that could actually improve and the things that are going horribly wrong. Right? I'm not going to attack the PNM today. So
Thank you. Because I'm trying to get Dr. Rowley on the show. And your balls in the top.
So you go. Anyway, so the name of the show is Hee-Haw. And what we're seeing is that our culture promotes mediocrity.
Yeah.
So we already starting swimming up against the current in terms of trying to create any sort of standardization or professionalism. Right? And if you look at just generally from leadership straight down to the man on the side of the street, it's okay in this country. And I'm not, hear me out, I'm not bashing anybody. This is no rant. This is me just looking at it objectively. It's okay for somebody to drive on the road and see somebody sitting down after they cut grass until like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? And see people just sedentary, watching the cars go by. I mean, I guess the road clean.
Right.
But productivity.
Oh, especially when productive. I went to discipline tolerance production is like our watchword now.
Right?
Yeah.
And ever so often, guests like yourself will come on the show.
And seem unfulfilled with what currently is the state of the country.
My co-host and we have on several, I had to say that this isn't the most proper grammar that I could. On several occasions, we have thought heavily upon leaving these Twin Island shows,
Right.
because of that same issue.
Right.
But then again, wherever you go, you're going to find cultural issues.
Yeah.
And this is not a situation where we say stick to the devil, But how do you propose to start sowing that seed of productivity and, the will to do it?
On a colony.
On a colonized.
On a colony. Say it like that.
And now this is just, again, I'm saying it so that the people in the back of there, this is satire.
Right.
This is us talking here. This is not we saying that, hey, all the Trinidadians stupid and colonized.
I seen it.
I mean,
I see it.
we thought about leaving
Right.
several occasions. Right? Sometimes I make a little bit more money, but what we trying to get at is, it's not worth leaving if you're going somewhere and had to do the same thing.
Right.
So putting it into perspective, you as a fitness trainer, you want to come and standardize things, make it legal, make it that you can't just come and man Viagra and say, hey, come in the gym tomorrow, meet me for carnival, you look good. This is more a lifestyle thing, but we are facing so much crabs in the barrel. Right? I wanted to draw a scenario where you're talking to the average Trinidadian and kind of encourage them, or you can't persuade somebody to exercise.
Right.
But give them a meaningful reason to start not training with you, but just start that lifestyle, start going that way?
Well, I'm glad you put it in that way, because you're talking about my personal philosophy now. That's how it touched to me. I was fortunate to have my both parents in my house growing up, and my father.
Wait, was your father white, by chance? I'm trying to figure out what kind of red man he is. What kind of... I like Douglas red man.
I'm mixed. My father is a East Indian. My mother is
Okay. We can be friends. I was watching this redness was a little bit too questionable.
I would tell you that all of the conversations I had that steered me in the right direction came from my deceased dad. And my dad actually passed away in January. Like, if I go back to trying out with stories with women, and I could tell you some of the things he told me was, he reminded me, because I went to Queens Royal College. Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right, cool.
That's where I know you from.
The biggest culture shift I ever had was that I actually knew I was poor when I started to go to Queens Royal College. Right? Because that's when you meet privileged people, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
And he constantly reminded me, he said, you are a half-breed boy and you don't have anything to get from me. Everything that you going to get in life, you had to work for it. And I was fortunate enough because he worked TTT.
Jeez.
And I used to sit.
So
he would come and
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he would pick me up when primary school was finished, and he would finish work at 5. He would carry us, me and my brother there, and we would sit down and watch him work. And my father, I don't know if you know how well to do advertisements.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Sometimes he would do the whole reel advertisements during Panorama. But every minute during that time, it's costly. Mm-hmm. And I used to sit down and watch him perfecting that. So I had that proper example of
that male
image in my life, because he didn't just talk the talk, he walked it. And so we used to, and this is what I miss the most with him, because he stopped being my father and he became a friend. So we used to have these conversations that used to basically sharpen each other. And in his older, before he passed, and we came up with this whole philosophy that the human race, the average human, will live probably 50-something years, right? 70 if you're lucky. Mm-hmm. And if you start seeing yourself as an individual, you not only are you selfish, but you're doomed. You have to see yourself as part of this entire species. What I am doing now as a personal trainer, I can't wait for them to regulate. I can't wait for other fellas to raise the bar. I go in and raise the bar. So that young fella who come in the gym a day, he decide to be a personal trainer, I hope he remember how G Squared Fitness run his business. Or he might even I might be privileged enough for him to come and ask me, hey, how you did so. And then it's almost like I handed him that battle. And maybe somewhere down the road, Trinidad might come out to the third world mentality. And we start to regulate this. And then we could always look back and say, you know what, I don't want to, well, I'm not calling myself a pioneer, because there are people who are doing it before me. And there are people who are doing it now who are raising that bar.
Right.
But at some point, as a citizen, it's like what this guy, the psychologist, I can't remember his name. He said, you can't change the world if you cannot clean your own room.
Jordan Peterson.
Correct. He said, if you bring order in your room, what will happen is the other people in the house will start envying you.
I read that book somebody.
I read that book too.
Yeah.
What will happen is the people in the room start to resent you first, but then one person will start cleaning their room too. Mm-hmm. So you had to actually lead by example. We can't be
that catalyst.
Yeah, and the thing is, when the funny thing is, you never really appreciate history when you live in it.
Always. You never get the flowers when you're alive.
It's when it passed. So I can't, in this industry stopping and thinking, yeah, I need to do this, and I just had to do it. And sooner or later, somebody will look back and say, hey, you know what, we should make this a business. Yeah, but these people were already doing it before.
Yeah.
It was already there.
Understand.
And then we could come, and then if somebody get the powers be in the government, say, all right, well, there's a starting point. There actually are people who doing it the right way, and we could actually sit down and have consultation with them, because that's how these things, these boards come about and laws, but it's through consultation in a democracy. And then we move forward from
We
there.
know it all too well.
Yeah, correct. So you see, I mean, I hear you, because I myself, because I have an American certification, it would be easier for me to just fly out, try to apply for everything. However,
Rangering.
correct. I really love my country. I know people who say that, but I know today or tomorrow things go bad. I will stay and fight it as much as I can.
Just don't go and live by the coast. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so we reach the
final words.
we reach the penultimate segment of our show. Is when I give you the last segment, the last statements.
Right.
Anything that come to mind? Anything that you want to plug? Shameless plug right now.
Right.
See where you come from. Do the most, right? Go shoot.
Right. The G Square Fitness, I operate out at One Woodbrook Place. You could check out.
Walk with your dust.
It's G2_fitness on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can always take a look at what we do.
Okay. So you have a lot of content on Instagram out now.
Thanks to Tessa, because I'll be too busy training people.
Good on you, Tessa. Final
That's my
words?
videographer for everything.
Yeah, so I have been working out with Greg for G2 Fitness, G Squared Fitness for a few years now, and I endorse he's good stuff. You all will not regret shining up with him, working out with him. He brings a different spin to this thing called working out and fitness.
That's your final words?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Big dog.
So basically what I say is you don't really have to work out to get the buff killing it. That's a pack of Zumas. Got a little vodka.
And some vodka.
Or some vodka. Don't worry about everything else.
Skinny man win.
Skinny man is always winning.
Right. All right, cool. Fellas, if you're taking testosterone, you will lose it, right? So do good every time. Good will follow. That is it for the show. 37, we out.
All right.